All right, you guys. So today I'm going to teach you how to make ghee. So the great thing about ghee is that it is really easy to digest because some people have problems with lactose or dairy. And so when you make ghee, which is kind of a version of clarified butter, you cook off all the milk solids. So it's really easy to digest. And in Ayurveda, it's used in not just cooking, but sometimes we cook different spices and herbs into it. And so you can actually like absorb the benefits of these different herbs by way of taking it in ghee. But just in general, just for cooking and eating, it is delicious. And it's shelf stable. So once you cook off all the milk solids, you don't actually have to put it in the refrigerator. And it's stable at high heat. So you can cook with it at really high heat. It also has a bunch of other really good digestives in it and some vitamins, and it's really good for your skin and whatnot. So we're gonna do it. And again, it's half the price if you do it yourself. So that's the nice thing. So what you need is a pound of it. Needs to be unsalted butter, and it should be organic. And it makes a big difference. And actually, not all organic butter is created equal. So today I'm using the Organic Valley. I'm trying to think. I know I've used like the Trader Joe's version. I think that's fine, but there's some that aren't quite as good. So you'd have to experiment with this. But I'm going to use the Organic Valley, and it's unsalted. So all you do is I'm going to turn on the burner, and I'm going to turn it to like medium high. And I'm going to put all 4 sticks of butter right in. And it's really easy to do because actually right now we're cooking dinner, and I can just like throw this in the back burner while I'm cooking dinner, and it's a no-brainer. So I put in all the 4 sticks and wait for it to melt and bring it to a boil. And then once it gets to a boil, it's going to be loud. It's going to make a bunch of noise. And once it gets there, then I'm going to turn it down to low, and I'm going to let it cook about, I'm going to go with about a half an hour. Sometimes it could be 20 minutes, sometimes it could be 40 minutes, but it has to be low heat so it doesn't burn. But I'm going to wait for this to melt. And then, when you cook it, the way that you know it's done is that it gets really quiet. So you wait for it to boil. It's like crackling and making all this noise, and then it'll get really quiet, and it turns this really beautiful golden color, and that's how you know it's done. So we're almost there. And ghee too, it's interesting in Ayurveda, it's also called an anupana, which is the way of delivering herbs, the way that you might absorb them. And sometimes when it's in ghee, you can actually absorb it better. And we also take ghee all the time when we do panchakarma because it's oleating the body from the inside out. So in a sense, the theory is that toxins or other, let's just use toxins for a word, would actually bind to the ghee and easily be eliminated through the body. All right, so we're almost there. It doesn't take too long to melt. So the other thing that I have handy is have a jar. You need a jar that's gonna hold about 16 ounces, any old jar. And I also use a cheesecloth, which we'll get to when we strain it out. Okay, it's beginning to boil. And I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it's loud, it's crackling. And I'm gonna set my timer for about 30 minutes. And then we'll come back and check on it. So we're done 30 minutes later. The ghee is really quiet, and it's done in, and you can see like, so the top of it has this like really subtle foam, and the bottom has all the milk solids. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour it into this jar. So I have kind of a weird method of doing this. So I'm gonna take this cheesecloth, and I'm gonna cut a little piece. Now you could do it without cheesecloth actually, like it really doesn't matter. You could kind of just pour it right in, but this just makes sure that, you know, the solids don't get on there. And then so that it like stays put, I just put a little rubber band around it and give it a little divot. And then it's easier for me to pour in with a funnel. So I just kind of hold that over it. And then I'm gonna take the pot and I'm gonna pour the ghee in. And you'll be able to see the like, really nice golden color. And now, you know, so the cheesecloth just makes sure that any of this, like, you know, all the milk solids that are in there, so you can see it at the bottom of the pan, you know, aren't in there. And it's not a problem if they are. You know, they'll usually just settle to the bottom anyway, but it just kind of helps. And it's actually, it's not hard to clean as long as it's not burnt. And then I just carefully kind of pull this off. And you've got this really beautiful golden ghee. And then the cheesecloth just gets discarded. We just throw it out. And then I'll just let it kind of cool, like open like this for a little bit until, you know, it's not so hot, and I can put the cover on it, and then it can just stay on the shelf because I don't have to refrigerate it since all the milk solids are out. And it's super yummy, and you can cook with it, you can put it on anything, and that's it. So try it.